A North Las Vegas neighborhood slowly sinking for decades.
Making homes inhabitable, leading to a clash between residents, the city of Las Vegas, and a new bill in the legislature to relocate those who live there.
News 3's Brett Forrest joins us live from the Windsor Park neighborhood that's near MLK and Carey. So Brett, how did this happen? Have these homes actually sinking into the ground?
Hey, Jim Marie. Well, it's a complex issue, decades in the making. So the Windsor Park neighborhood where I am right now was built in 1964. And the problem here is the homes are built over fault lines and aquifers. So as this underground groundwater was pulled out year after year, homes began sinking, foundations began crumbling. So over the years, some people have moved out. They've been able to move out, and those homes have been demolished. You can see some foundations of homes like this that I'm next to. These scatter the neighborhood, empty lots everywhere. But for those who have remained here, they now have hope for a better future with this new bill in the legislature that had its first hearing today.
The ground cracking, leaning, the houses sinking. You can lay a can on the floor and it'll just go to rolling. All depends on which way your house is leaning.
Webster Davis is one of the 90 remaining residents of the North Las Vegas Windsor Park neighborhood. Like his neighbors, his home is slowly becoming uninhabitable as it slowly sinks.
You want to leave your kids something they will respect, enjoy, and look back on and know what you went through to save this for them. But at this rate, you don't want to leave your kids a falling down shack.
In the late 80s and early 90s, millions of federal dollars were provided and residents were relocated. But many of those new homes were smaller, inadequate, or too expensive to build, so some remained in Windsor Park. Now, State Senator Dina Neal has a bill to relocate them.
Most of the people who live there, which we call the originals, are in their 80s and 90s, and they cannot afford to get another house, and they've been living in this condition for 30 years.
The bill would establish a program to buy nearby land, relocate the residents, and exchange their homes with new ones to be built with at least equal square footage.
Where's the money going to come from to actually buy this land and then build these homes?
I'm glad you asked that question, because 10 million comes from the state, 20 million comes from North Las Vegas. I researched that too. So the state can direct a city to do an act to fund a project with their own funds.
Senator Neal says North Las Vegas has the money available in their general fund and other sources. But in testimony, the city says they recognize the problem, but that this bill is not the answer.
SB 450 is not fiscally responsible and unnecessarily shifts the financial burden historically borne by the federal government onto the state and the city.
And for those in Windsor Park, they just want help.
Yes, they've most definitely failed us. We pay taxes, keep up our taxes and everything like that, and we deserve, like every other community, we deserve help.
Now, I did reach out to the city of North Las Vegas for either a general statement or a comment and a list of specific questions for them, but I did not receive a response yet. And as for that bill, it did pass out of that committee today, so it now advances to a general Senate floor vote. And if it passes that, it'll go to the Assembly and then eventually signed into law by Governor Lombardo. But one step at a time, I'll follow the process and bring you any of the latest developments. And you'll find more information about the history of this on our website, news3lv.com, including a link to a documentary that UNLV produced last year that goes into the detailed history of this. I'll have that link as well.
History-making day for the Clark County Fire Department. More than 50 people got promotions today. That's the biggest group ever.
While it is a cause for celebration, it's also needed to keep up with the demand for service. A concern as more people move to the valley. News 3's Kristen Drummond reveals the department's recent challenges, including to find new recruits.
An exciting time for the department because these promotions mean addressing growth and filling vacancies following the pandemic.
Many people left the fire service,
leaving Fire Chief John Steinbeck with spots to fill, but not immediately.
Many of the people that we promoted today were on the list for 2 years waiting.
Is that uncommon?
It's not unheard of in our history, but it's uncommon in our recent history.
The Clark County Fire Department hosting its largest promotion ceremony at the Clark County Government Center on Thursday.
44 engineers, 3 EMS supervisors, 3 captains, and a battalion chief, and they are much needed.
These career advances only possible because of the largest recruiting class graduating in a few weeks. However, Steinbeck knows the challenge is now to find firefighters.
A lot more people look into jobs in the IT and different industries like that than some of the, fire department.
Not Alina Johnson, though.
You want to go home?
No. A mother of 2, now wearing a new badge and title, fire engineer.
I will drive the fire engine. It's just amazing. It's an amazing opportunity.
Johnson joining the department 12 years ago. She met her husband, who is currently a captain.
Are you proud of your wife?
Oh, extremely. Extremely. I know how hard she worked.
One of roughly 30 women in a department of about 800 employees, majority men. But that does not stop her or others from answering the call to serve. And with the valley growing, the department seeks recruits as more people call Las Vegas home.
We've got to grow with the town, right? The resorts, every time you see another resort go up, that's more demand of service.
If interested in becoming a firefighter, visit our website, news3lv.com, for a link.
We are your traffic authority. With an abundance of construction projects underway across the valley, there also seems to be an abundance of crashes. Our Katie Munch explains it's putting drivers and construction workers' safety at risk.
NDOT says they don't necessarily have numbers to prove a spike in crashes in construction work zones. However, they are noticing a spike in impatient drivers trying to cut through traffic, coming close to hitting construction workers and causing wrecks. The construction projects across the valley are endless. From larger projects like Tropicana and repavement for the F1 Grand Prix to smaller construction projects, drivers are just sick of it.
A nightmare.
Why?
Especially in the morning. Closures for the on and off ramps for Charleston, closures up by the 15.
Earlier this week, LVMPD said a motorcyclist drove inside a restricted construction zone on Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard and hit an SUV trying to turn. Officers say the motorcyclist suffered a broken arm.
We already got enough risk with the job site, with the cranes and whatever type of other hazards that happen on the job site.
Julian Lopez has been in construction for over a decade and is currently working on projects along the strip. He says drivers aren't being respectful. Many speed, yell at workers, and in some rare instances have even thrown trash.
I get the frustration with all the cones, but we're not the contractor, and I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to make it better. So at the end of the day, we do have more lanes because of all the people coming here.
Drivers face double penalties for traffic violations in a construction work zone, with possible fines amounting to $1,000.
Whether it's Metro or Nevada State Police to help us in work zones for traffic control, especially when we have a major event.
You can test your patience for an upcoming road closure on northbound I-15 on May 8th and May 15th from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Drivers will be rerouted, which can make commutes a little bit hectic. For more information, you can head over to our website, news3lv.com.
Subscribe to News 3 on YouTube at News 3 Las Vegas.